Here's to a long life and a merry one, a quick death and an easy one, a pretty girl and an honest one, an Irish whiskey and another one. Many people will walk in and out of our lives, but only true friends will leave footprints in our heart. To handle yourself, use your head. To handle others, use your heart. Happy St. Patrick's Day 2019, YouTube pipe smoking community and pipe and cigar smokers everywhere. For good measure, here's an Irish joke. It's called The Four Pleasures of Life. Sweet corn, a pint of Irish beer, the love of learning, and the one you thought of first. Hello, I'm in my kitchen and I'm going to make my recipe for Irish coffee. So let's get started. I have some Irish whiskey here. You can use any of your favorite Irish whiskey you wish. Coffee, dark roast coffee that's percolated. This is one of my favorites. You can use any kind of coffee that you prefer. Also some sugar cubes that I'm going to put in here. Now you can use brown sugar also, but I also enjoy the white. And the third, let's see, 1, 2, 3. The fourth is heavy cream. This is heavy whipping cream, and I think I really need to use heavy cream. They didn't have any of that stuff. The heaviest they had was heavy whipping cream. Don't use, well, you can use milk if you want, or you can use half and half, but it's not going to come out the way it's traditionally done. And I'll talk about that in a second. So first of all, we put in the sugar cubes, or the brown sugar, then the Nectar of the Gods Irish whiskey. There we go. Put a nice stiff jigger in. And let's see, let's put a wee dram. This is a pretty big cup there. Let's put a wee dram more of the whiskey. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Okay. With that, I want to go ahead and pour in the dark hot coffee. All right. And the third element is the heavy cream. Now, the way they do it, and like I say, I have not had success most of the time with doing this, but you use a cold spoon and you slowly pour the cream over the cold spoon into the coffee, hot coffee. And that should float on top. And it's a nice contrast with the white cream and the dark coffee. But, like I say, I don't think this is going to work, but it's still going to be good. So let's go ahead and see. All right. As you can see, it really didn't float up, but it actually mixed into the coffee, which is going to taste just as good. And there it is, my friends. Irish coffee on St. Patrick's Day. Let me take a quick sip. Oh, you can't imagine. Now, the Irish whiskey is best used. You can use regular whiskey, but the flavor is going to be a little bit different. Thank you for watching. I would like to talk a little bit about, on the St. Patrick's Day, what tobacco I'm going to be smoking and my tobacco pipe. As you can see, I will be smoking this Auenland Balbor Smooth Churchwarden. This Churchwarden does have the 9mm filter in it, and I would say that it probably has the deepest bowl of all of the Auenland Churchwarden series. This is about 2.5 inches deep. No, sorry. It's about 1.7 inches deep. It's about 2.5 ounces is the weight of it, which is something like about 71 grams, and it feels really good in the hand. The depth is, like I say, 1.7 inches or about 44 millimeters. And I will be smoking this outside. As you know, I don't usually smoke inside. I wish I could, but smoke outside. But unfortunately, we still have very cold weather, 3 to 4 feet of snow everywhere, but clear skies. So that means springtime is on its way, and hopefully with this daylight savings time, the energy everywhere gets all the trees and flowers and tulips and daffodils popping up through the ground soon. Of course, not through 3 or 4 feet of it, but soon. All right. The tobacco I chose for today is some tobacco, and you guessed it, it's a Peterson, and this happens to be the Peterson Irish Flake. I have just a little bit of it left, and oh my goodness, when you inhale the aroma of this tobacco, it's very rich and tobacco-ish. It's a beautiful flake. I don't know if the light will show you this or not. So I have a few flakes in here, and I will definitely be enjoying that. This Irish Flake has burley in it. It has Virginia and also dark-fired Kentucky. And the thing about this, the way it's made, it has equal parts of air-cured, flue-cured, and dark-fired tobaccos of those three. So I've had this for a couple years, and very sparingly smoking it. I understand that it's kind of hard to get right now, so I'm waiting for it to hit the market again. I will probably get a few tins to store in. So, all right. I want to talk a few things Irish. One of the things is an Irish walking stick. This is mine. I've had it for several years. Let's see, I can't get it all in there. It is what's called a Blackthorn Irish walking stick. And I use this when I take long hiking walks in the fields or in the lower mountains. And it's just fun to have and to walk with. You can see it's pretty well used. You can see the bottom is kind of used, wearing away a little bit. So this is the walking stick. It's my understanding in Irish history that before the walking stick was available, it kind of developed from what is called a shillelagh. All right. A shillelagh is also made out of this blackthorn wood, which is a very dense wood. But the shillelagh is only about maybe 16 inches, maybe 22 inches long, but it has a thick diameter, maybe an inch or maybe even a little bit more inch diameter. And on one end of the shillelagh is a big knot of wood, a huge round not of wood. And on the other side, where you actually hold the stick, there's a leather strap that you can put your hand and wrist in, and then when you hold it, it could stay in your hand. What is this used for? How is this used? Well, let me read a few things about the shillelagh. Okay. The shillelagh historically is an Irish war club, known by many names, including in Gaelic, it's called a bata, which means fighting stick. The original club gets its name from the shillelagh forest in County Wicklow. All right. These sticks often come lead loaded. That ball on that one end somehow is lead loaded. Not all the time, but you could get it lead loaded to be nice and heavy. And when you're holding it and you strike, you really have a weapon. So it makes the shillelagh a serious means of protection. They are not just for show and should be treated should be treated as such. Okay. In expert hands, the shillelagh was so fearsome that during the final occupation of Ireland, the English outlawed it. To get around the law, the Irish turned the shillelagh into a 3-foot walking stick. Voila. Okay. The English didn't want to appear unreasonable by outlawing walking sticks too, so the Irish kept their modified shillelaghs, and the world gained a beautiful and functional walking stick known simply as the Blackthorn. Very nice. Very interesting, I think, about that. All right, a little bit of information and history about St. Patrick's Day and things that are Irish. Leprechauns. Leprechauns are little make-believe fairies from Ireland. Or are they? In Celtic stories, leprechauns were cranky souls responsible for mending the shoes of the older fairies. More than 100 cities hold St. Patrick's Day parades. The shamrock was a sacred plant in ancient Ireland because it symbolized the rebirth of spring. Up until the 1070s, the year 1070, Irish laws prohibited pubs from operating on March the 17th. Now, if I didn't see this in writing, I would not have believed that Irish laws prohibited pubs from operating on March the 17th. March the 17th happens to be the death of St. Patrick. So that was, I guess, perhaps one of the reasons out of respect. I don't know how long that lasted before it was gone with the wind. All right. Legend has it that St. Patrick used the 3-leaf clover to explain the Holy Trinity. In certain Christian sects, the Holy Trinity is the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. And so he was trying to explain the 3 in 1 by the 3-leaf clover. The first St. Patrick's Day was held in New York City in 1763. Wow, I had no idea. New York's Fifth Avenue is home to the largest St. Patrick's Day parade in the U.S. That's interesting. All right, you know this. Corned beef began to be associated with St. Patrick's Day at the turn of the 20th century. And yes, indeed, we will be having corned beef and cabbage. The way we make it is get about a 4-pound chunk of corned beef, and we put it in a pressure cooker with 2 bottles of beer. And the beer is the extra stout Guinness beer. Okay, and we close it up and cook it for about 55 minutes. Take it out and serve it with vegetables that, of course, is potatoes, carrots, and cabbage. Now, the potatoes, carrots, and cabbage are usually cooked separately in a pot on top of the stove with some of the juices left over from the pressure cooker process, because you have all this good flavor and taste and a lot of herbs. And then it's served in a big platter and nicely cut up. And enchanté. The Blarney Stone is a stone set in the wall of the Blarney Castle Tower. 3, the number 3, was the most sacred and magical number in Celtic symbolism. Okay, and finally, a common phrase heard on St. Patrick's Day is Erin go bra, Erin go brog, and that is translated into Ireland forever. Erin go brog. Okay. Well, I'm going to get ready to do my share in cooking some of that corned beef and cabbage up. So I wish everyone a very enjoyable feast of good food, good drinks, good tobacco, and good people surrounding the dinner table. Bye for now.